Hi, I'm Kirby Larson. Audacity Jones, Audie to her friends, is a bit like me, a bookworm who longs for adventure. That's why it was so much fun to write about this resourceful orphan in my new book, Audacity Jones to the Rescue. Audacity's story begins at Miss Macy's home for wayward girls, where she leads a really dull existence. Her only escape is through her secret trips to the home's off-limits library. But everything changes the day the Commodore arrives, seeking assistance for a top-secret mission. Events unfold that take Audie from small-town Indiana to the bustling streets of Washington, D.C. There, she and her new friends use their wits and wiles to thwart a band of kidnappers. Audacity Jones is one of my favorite characters, and I hope you enjoy reading her exploits as much as I enjoy writing them.
Do you know any kids who are go-getters, who have 1,000,001 ideas, who go way overboard on class projects? Well, meet Cleo Edison Oliver, playground millionaire. Cleo is an aspiring entrepreneur, but she sometimes loses her focus when it comes to her friends and classmates. Cleo's latest business venture is rapidly losing customers. Her best friend is distant, and when a mean classmate makes fun of Cleo for being adopted, everything comes crashing down. Will she be able to save her new business, salvage a friendship, and finally find the secret of success?
Hi, my name is Adele Griffin. When I was younger, one of my favorite television shows was about a Stone Age family, the Flintstones. I loved that they rode on dinosaurs, but they also lived a normal family life. I always wished I could see more my age kids in the Flintstones cartoon. That's why I wrote The Oodle Thunks. With wild and funny illustrations by Mike Wu, it's a series about a prehistoric family, Dave, Allison, Bonk, and Una. In the first book, Una finds an egg. On her way home from school, Una finds a giant egg. She does not know where it came from. She does not know what it will hatch into. She does not even know if it will hatch. All she knows is that this egg needs somebody to watch over it. And Una decides that no matter what dangers her egg might face, that she is that somebody to watch over it. She must protect her egg against everything from red-tailed hawks to Bruce Brute, the class bully. And what does Una's egg hatch into? You'll have to read to find out.
I didn't think I could love anything more than Natalie Lloyd's spin-diddly debut, A Snicker of Magic, a book so full of love it made my chest ache. But I was wrong. Her second novel, The Key to Extraordinary, spirits readers away to the town of Blackbird Hollow, a place so beautiful, so mysterious, and so magical. I gave up my residence in Midnight Gulch and moved there for good. Like a haunting bluegrass tune, The Key to Extraordinary will fill you with wonder as you lose yourself in the music of Natalie's heart-squeezing writing. I can't wait for you to meet Emma Pearl Casey, a heroine who taught me the true meaning of love and loyalty, and all the other characters who feel like old friends from page 1.
Hi, I'm Dan Gemeinhart, author of The Honest Truth and the upcoming historical adventure, Some Kind of Courage. The Honest Truth was, at its heart, a story about a boy and his dog. Some Kind of Courage is not a story about a boy and a dog, but a story about a boy and his horse. Joseph is an orphan living on the Washington frontier in 1890. The rest of his family died on the journey west, and all that Joseph has left of his old life is his horse, Sarah. He loves her more than anything in the world. When the man who he's living with sells Sarah to a cruel horse trader passing through, Joseph sets off on a journey across the frontier to get her back. Along the way, he'll face raging rivers, wild animals, and quick-drawing outlaws. It's a story about friendship, about family, and about figuring out who we are and where we fit in the world. I'm so excited to share Some Kind of Courage with you.
Hi, I'm Mary Knight. My contemporary debut novel, Saving Wonder, is set in the beautiful Appalachian Mountains, where 12-year-old Curly Hines lives with his grandfather in a place called Wonder Gap, just down the holler from Curly's best friend, Jules. For as long as Curly can remember, his papa's been giving him words, not only to increase his vocabulary, but to give Curly the power to shape his world. When a new coal boss threatens to blow the top off their mountain, Curly's world is turned upside down. How can all of his words possibly make a difference now? Saving Wonder is a story about finding one's voice, about friendship and community. I wanted to show how one boy loved a place and its people so much that he was willing to risk his way of life in order to save it. I want my readers to know that they hold that same power, the power of words, to create a better world.
Hi, I'm Andrea Davis Pinkney. It was an ordinary day until it wasn't. So begins Ruby Lee and Me, a richly textured novel by Shannon Hitchcock. This is the life-changing journey of Sarah Beth Willis, a child growing up in the South in 1969. There's talk in town about the new 6th grade teacher who's coming to Shady Creek. Ms. Smyer is like no other educator anyone's seen around these parts. She's the first and only African American to teach white students, and it's causing quite a stir. While black folks and white folks are cordial in this North Carolina town, Sarah Beth and her African American friend Ruby Lee must now come face to face with how prejudice affects their friendship. In a starred review, Booklist hails Ruby Lee and Me for its heartening importance and cites the novel's hope for racial healing.
Hi, I'm Varian Johnson, and I'm excited to be talking to you all about To Catch a Cheat, my newest Jackson Green caper. To Catch a Cheat takes place 4 months after the Great Green Heist. 8th grade con artist Jackson Green is happily retired, again, from his life of scheming and pranking. Then Jackson receives a copy of a fake security video, a video showing him and his friends vandalizing the school. The students behind the forgery threaten to send the video to the principal unless Jackson agrees to steal the school's toughest exam. So Jackson pulls together his team to stop the cheaters and clear their names. All the crew returns, and Jackson even recruits a new member to Team Gangrene, Gabby De La Cruz. In To Catch a Cheat, we find that not only is Gabby the student council president, but she's also Jackson's official girlfriend. And while Jackson is a pro at masterminding plots and heists, he still has a lot of things to learn about friendship and romance. And as Jackson and his crew pull off their toughest heist yet, they'll prove that it sometimes takes a thief to catch a cheat.
Hello, this is Rodman Philbrick, author of Freak the Mighty and many other stories for young readers. My newest book, The Big Dark, opens with this sentence: "Where were you when the lights went out?" I got the idea last summer when I was piloting a boat down the Erie Canal. I found that I was spending most of my time recording the experience on my cell phone and sharing it with family and friends. And it occurred to me, what would the world be like if suddenly all electricity fails? I don't mean just a power outage. I mean electricity does not work. No batteries, no generators, no cars, no cell phones, no TVs, no way to communicate except face to face. I decided to write a thrilling adventure set in upstate New Hampshire on a brutally cold winter, when a young man has to figure out how to save not only himself and his family, but his town from the brutal events that are occurring after the power failure. This is not a science fiction story. It could take place right now, today, tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Gordon Korman. I've had lots of fun writing the Swindle books and for the 39 Clues series. My newest novel is Slacker. I created Cameron Boxer, the ultimate middle school slacker. When his parents threaten to shut down his gaming if he doesn't get more involved, Cam creates a fake club on his school's website, the Positive Action Group. It's genius. He gets credit for being a student leader without ever having to lift a finger. But there's a problem. The school counselor hears about the new club, and he thinks it's the best idea ever. As the PAG's big project, they rescue Elvis, the town's endangered beaver. Suddenly, Cam's famous. He's also in big trouble. If the truth comes out that he faked the whole thing, his parents will make sure he never touches a video game controller again. When it comes to protecting his slacker lifestyle, no amount of scrambling is too great for Cam. After all, it takes a lot of determination and effort to be a slacker.
Hi, I'm Natalie Standiford, author of Switched a Birthday and The Secret Tree. While writing my latest book, The Only Girl in School, I thought hard about what it means to be a girl, what it means to be a boy, and most of all, what it feels like to be different from everyone around you, to feel like no one sees or hears you, the real you, not the identity they have assigned to you. Claire Warren lives on a tiny fishing island in the Chesapeake Bay. The island is so small that when her best friend, Bess, moves to California, Claire is the only girl left, not just in her 5th grade class, but in the entire elementary school. Worst of all, her former buddy Henry is suddenly avoiding her. On the good side, she has the girls' bathroom all to herself, where she draws the story of her life on the walls. This book is for any reader, boy or girl, who has ever struggled with loneliness, identity, and a feeling that the odds are stacked against them.
Hi, my name is Sarah Weeks. I have written a lot of books on my own, like So Be It, Pie, and Honey, but this is the first time I've written a book with someone else. I'm so excited to be here with my good friend and co-author, Geeta Varadarajan, to talk about a new book we wrote together called Save Me a Seat.
It's a story about 2 boys, Ravi and Joe, and the unlikely friendship that forms between them. Ravi has just arrived from India.
And Joe is an American boy who sits behind him in class. He also happens to love peanut M&Ms, especially the blue ones.
And M&M plays a role in bringing the boys together. And by the end of their first week in 5th grade, Joe and Ravi are friends, even though they haven't said a single word to each other.
Geeta and I, on the other hand, have talked a lot.
Sarah and I learned so much about each other, our traditions, our food, our culture, as we worked on this book together.
And most importantly, we became very good friends who, like Ravi and Joe, share a lot in common.
Hello, my name is MG Leonard, and I am the author of Beetle Boy. It's a story about a boy called Darkus, whose father goes mysteriously missing one day when he's at work in a locked room, and no one, not the police, not anyone, can work out where he's disappeared to. All alone in the world, he goes to live with his uncle. At his uncle's, he discovers some new friends at school and a beetle called Baxter. This book is a very powerful adventure, hopefully thrilling and exciting, as Darkus and his new friends search for his father, learn all about the world of beetles, and come across one of the most dire, disturbing, distressing villainesses ever to be written, or at least I like to think so. I hope you enjoy reading it. I hope you love the beetles as much as I have come to do. They're the most incredible creatures on the planet, and I bet you at some point in this book you're going to be surprised about what you find out.
People say the best books transport you, and Phoebe Stone's Paris for Two whisks you away to the grand boulevards of France. There you meet Pet Beanley, a girl with 2 problems. The first is her gorgeous older sister, Ava, who always makes Pet feel small. The second is Wendell, the boy Pet has a huge and painful crush on. Pet thinks her family's year in Paris is shaping up to be a disaster, but she hasn't counted on the magic of Paris and a series of surprises that change everything. Phoebe Stone is the author of the Romeo and Juliet Code, and her books have received a galaxy of starred reviews. Give this book to any kid who's ever felt small, ever had a crush, or ever needed some Parisian magic of their own.
My name is Mike Jung, and I am the author of Unidentified Suburban Object. Unidentified Suburban Object is about a 12-year-old girl named Chloe Cho, who is exploring her racial heritage and her family history for the very first time in her life. Now, Chloe is the only child of Asian descent and really the only person of color in her entire school, so you can imagine she feels a little alone in this effort. And her parents are being oddly unhelpful about it as well, and she discovers the reason why. It's because her parents, for her entire life, have been keeping a very big secret. I wrote this book trying to explore some of the big questions that I think we all face in childhood and beyond. Questions like, what is racial identity? And what does my family's history say about me? Who are my friends and why are they my friends? Why did my mom and dad choose to live here? Writing this book was a really fun and meaningful experience for me, and I hope that reading it turns out to be an equally fun and meaningful experience for you and your patrons and your students. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sharon Robinson, author and daughter of baseball legend Jackie Robinson. I'm standing here today at the Jackie Robinson Rotunda of Citi Field. It's the home of the New York Mets. By breaking the color barrier in 1947, Jackie opened the doors for other players of color in Major League Baseball. He went on to help his team, the Brooklyn Dodgers, win 6 pennants and 1 World Series championship. In 1948, my family moved to Tilden Avenue in Brooklyn. Not everybody in the neighborhood was happy that an African-American family was moving in, but a young Jewish fan named Steve was thrilled. I tell Steve and Jackie's story in my book, The Hero 2 Doors Down. It shows what it was like for Steve to have his baseball hero move onto his block, and also the development of a lifelong friendship between two families from very different backgrounds. Imagine what it would be like if you got to meet one of your greatest heroes.